2 months later. Remember the last video? It was released on January 18, 2026. Yeah, I know you remember that, so time to change. It's time to explain some changes. Yeah, 2 months ago. So today is March 19th, 2026, and tomorrow's about to be the 20th, so that means that once the 20th, we enter late part of March and everything, because, whenever it gets to, like, the 20th, I always, label that as the late times, but just because, it gets to the 20th, it doesn't mean that it has to be super late, so, yeah, we want to keep that in mind. So I guess we need to start with the beginning, the TheGrindisTimes, like, when it began. So, remember when I released that video, that date, about the TheGrindisTimes, and that was on 18th, right? Well, no, the TheGrindisTimes actually began when I got my hair done. I want to say that was, like, the 23rd or the 24th when I got it done. And yeah, so the reason why the TheGrindisTimes began when I got my hair braided that time in late January is because when I had it braided, I was quiet. And so it's time to explain about that. So essentially, when before I turned about 17 years old, I had these 3 things set up for me while I'm 17. It was 3 habits to adopt that would really help. First one was be quiet. The second one was not getting involved. And the third one was doing things one at a time. Okay, all 3 will guarantee a great time, and it did, but I have to explain that too. When I had my hair braided in late January, I was practicing things one at a time. No, not one at a time, but being quiet. Yeah, I was practicing that. And how that went was that I didn't feel very emotional as I would my normal self and like that. And when it came to the time that I had to talk, my host being, he was like, "Yeah, you gotta talk, oh my god." And it was for Luigi's Mansion HGP video and stuff, which I released on February 1st. Go check it out, no matter how doing count. But yeah, basically, what I learned from that experience was to, balance talking with being quiet, because talking helps, get emotions and thoughts out. Like, I talk regardless, even though I went the entire school day not talking and stuff. No, I haven't went the entire school day without talking, because, it's already bad enough having to force yourself not to talk and all this stuff. It's just the whole, being calm and everything. That's what I had to really get to myself. And yeah, so it's time to go to not getting involved. So the whole not getting involved thing started when I want to say start taking medication. Yeah, the Z with A. What is Z? Z, Zoloft. Certainly. A is Adderall. And amphetamine. It sounds so horrible when I say it like that, but who cares? So I took the Z on February 10th. Now, before we get to the medication stuff, we need to talk about, like, how I expected February to be like. So at the beginning of February, I had expected to make a lot of videos in such a short time, really misinterpreting what the TheGrindisTimes really is, because, and I'm sorry I didn't summarize this in, like, the beginning of the video, but the TheGrindisTimes is basically when I am doing things that I'm good at, not so concerned about trying to get better at things, because it's better for me to do what I can instead of making myself do stuff that I'm not really willing to do. Understanding that, we go to when I had to do Hello Neighbor Daily 41. It was a lot of editing, even though the video was sped up to 150, it was a lot, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is it so much to do? And I got it done with Pomodoro, and it was fine, but it was a lot of work, because I really did expect it to come out before the weekend after I filmed it that week. That's what I expected out of that, but let's not really worry about that and all that stuff. See, you have to see, like, a common theme here of how I would guilt myself up about not working as much as I be thinking about. And that's the thing, my thoughts are not real, they're enemies. So when I took the Z, I had realized about one thing. One is that I took it before in 2023, and that was a time where I was like, I'm gonna start trying. So I'm like, oh, the Zola pushed me into the right direction, so I gotta take the Z. But there were times that I felt like the Z wasn't really working, even though it clearly was, because the dosage of the Z is higher than the A, the Adderall, because my dosage is about 50 milligrams, and that's not bad. And the Z, and the A is about 25, and yeah, that's good. That's enough for my intake and everything. So yeah, now we move on to the 25th of Wednesday of February. What happened throughout the time? Well, I was making Hello Neighbor 40, I want to say 3 or 43 or 42. I was also going to my psychiatrist, my checkup. Now, my mom had said, oh, I finally got somebody, I'm like a therapist or something. So I'm like, let's go. We go to the psychiatrist, and he prescribed me with some Adderall and Zoloft. That happened when I told him about everything that was going on in my life. Not that I had super big problems, but just personal problems with myself that I really wanted to fix. And I'm like, I need some leverage. I just need that. Oh my gosh. So on the 26th, everything changed, because number 1, my habits had switched. What had happened is that I took the Adderall and not the Zoloft, okay? And that's going to be important for today and yesterday as the time I'm recording this. So I took the A on the Thursday, February 26th, and I felt so freaking amazing, bro. I felt positive. I felt like I could focus. And the big thing that came out from taking Adderall is that I've fostered positivity and chose to focus solely on that. Another thing that I've done that was super big is that I made a recording called Damn Good, spelled D-A-M-U-D. That's how you spell it. Like, damn, that's good. D-A-M-N-G-O-O-D. That's how you spell damn good in a literal sense. But yeah, that recording was made to explain how I've had a good time. I made a long version and I made a short version. I think I made that the week after I first took that. When I had made that recording, it explained basically that you need to put action over inaction, basically stating that your feelings should never really attach to your actions at all, but they never do. You can make them attach to your actions, but they don't. So what I've wrote up here is it only takes action, because however I feel does not say anything about what I can do, because action is only the physical part of stuff. Thinking is only the internal that doesn't exist outside of here. Basically, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Let's move on to how I felt about the A. So I was so worried about the A, like how I was feeling feeling taking it because I'm like, I might rely on this. Now, I gotta explain a little something with the whole worrying about the dependency thing, so here we go. So, I had this thing called the protection bracelet. My uncle gave it to me when I was in North Carolina last year. Yeah, it was in the summertime. Now, he had said, this bracelet provides good luck and protection. I'm like, oh, okay. I wore it while I was making a video that time, and I didn't really start wearing it a lot until September. I was like, oh, I gotta wear my bracelet, and if I don't wear it, oh no, the day's gonna be horrible, it's gonna, bad life, Now, although I believe in good luck, bad luck, and karma, I'm not way too stringent on the whole thing. If I had some kind of charm, then the day goes well, because I eventually discovered that the day is basically just your attitude. It starts with attitude, and then comes action. So I was so worried about the great feeling I had when I took the A and stuff, and that's what happens when you take the A, your heart rushes and your thoughts go fast. But yeah, I was so worried about how I would rely on it, and I know not to take more than the doses I already have. I'm only supposed to take one a day, not more than that. So I was doing my own thing right there, taking one every day diligently. There'd be some days where I alternate and stuff. For example, the first ever time I went without it after I took it was the day right after, because something personal happened, so I didn't take it, and I had my hair done that time. And what had happened was that my head was hurting like shit because I had stitch braids. They are tight as fuck. And the thing is, when I took them out, and that was on Sunday, I had to get them done for some pictures. When I had taken them out, what had happened is that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave it like that for a long time, and I'm like, dude, I'm not getting my hair done until but so I think the important thing is to talk about like what really changed because I took the A. Now the A is super significant. I like to call the times of where I would worry about the Adderall dependency. La Cinca, not gonna spell that. No, not going to. I know how to spell it, but I'm not gonna spell it to you guys. The one big thing that has changed, and I'm so fucking shocked I didn't do this last year, and I was really thinking about doing it, but the whole mind cloud shit, this one thing changed everything, and that is writing. No matter the format, no matter how you do it, bro, writing is therapy. Journaling is therapy. It don't matter how you write, what you write, my dude, just go ahead and write. That's what I've done. Writing is so fun. It was a way to express idea and everything. The reason why it was a problem when I wrote back then is because I would try to force myself, put something on the thing. That and key thing has to be super good, but the idea doesn't have to be so good. You just start and all that stuff. Yeah, I had to really get that shit into my head about the whole writing thing and why it's so important. And that's why I started a new notebook, documenting my concepts and everything. And that's why I've typed a lot of documents in Google Keep Note. I'm not going to show you them because I don't feel like showing you guys. So now it just so happens that this week, or was it? Yeah, let's talk about last week. So last week was great because it had to do with that Monday of that time. So we didn't have school because it was digital learning day. And so what happened is that I didn't take any of the medication that time because I want to see how I would do. And I've done awesome. I didn't really expect myself to do so much work because I was doing an essay and I was doing a presentation at the same time. And I also got done with the essay too, and I was happy about that. And I've discovered about two things, but before I get to one of them, I have to explain what I did that Monday. So I filmed a video called Gratitude and released it on Power Plush and Helidoyan. So I want to say that day I was good, okay? I fostered a positive outlook on things, perception, mood, mindset, however you want to say it. Basically, I was not focusing on the self-sabotaging thoughts that I would usually focus on whenever I ruminate and stuff. So the two things that I've really that I've learned when it came to A is to focus on positivity and to also write and stuff. Man, I forgot the other point, but that's fine because we're going to move on to March 13th. I took the Z only, and what had happened is that we exercised today and I was so tired. I was like, I don't really want to do anything because I've got a part of a storyboard done. I've typed enough of what I did on that time. The two things that I did on that Thursday, that is March 12th. So I was like, I'm not going to do a lot today. But what I did when I came back home is that I had worked on Froggy the 13th Plus TV video and I released it that same day. It was great too. Eventually, I would think about this whole bias of where, oh, if I didn't take the A this day, then the day went horrible, and I would worry so much about how the day went of the times where I didn't take the A at all. It's just the A. I'm not worried about the Z at all. The way that I defeated this bias is that I've simply said that it's all about just not beating yourself down just because you didn't do this amount of work and blah, blah, blah. If you truly feel satisfied at how much work you did in the time, then there's no reason to feel so bad if you don't do more. So now we need to go to what happened this Monday. I didn't go to school because we had a 2-hour delay, and I'm like, I don't do 2-hour delays. No, I don't. It was 2-hour delay, and I didn't go. And so I think I took the A at that time. I am not sure if I did. Did I take it? Hold on. So yeah, now that I checked it, it was super duper important. Monday was so important. I did take the A that day because I thought that I was going to school. I mean, knew I wasn't going to school even before that night. So when I took the A, I had concluded that I have to start dealing with things because when it comes to some things in life, you just got to deal with them, especially when it comes to the things that you do to be successful. That's what I concluded. And I've called this Porcevito, and it's still Porcevito week. It's going to last until, probably Friday or the end of this week. So now the reason why I was like, you need to deal with things, you just got to suck them up and deal with them, is because I've made everything easy easier for myself. And at this point, dude, you gotta just deal with it because I made it easier for myself and everything. So that's the argument that I had. And so because of that, I've been able to improve my resilience, my perseverance, and endurance because of that. I want to say mostly persistence because, yeah, that's what I call it, Porcevino. And also, that same day, I made a video about how I'm not going to make any more videos, like release them until Friday and stuff. So yeah, throughout the week, I could just work on a video and just, schedule them and, we'd be fine. But like, what would the difference even be? It's not like I have a super big audience. Eventually, Wednesday comes, and it's a good day because I went to check up on my psychiatrist again. The last time we saw each other, remember, it was February 25th. That's when we last saw each other. The biggest thing that I had really got to myself, and this solved the whole dependency worrying stuff. My therapist, psychiatrist, had said that I need to stop worrying about the whole dependency thing because if I genuinely wanted to help myself, I would make it easier. So the arrow was just a whole way of leveraging and stuff. So yeah, like just think about it. I was able to get better because of it, and if I continue to take it, then I am going to be so good. Because he had told me all that stuff, I was like, man, I'm not ashamed to take in any of medication to help myself. It's like saying, oh, it's a bad thing for you to use DaVinci Resolve to make your videos super more efficiently. No, editing with Power Director is shit. But see, I don't shame myself for making videos efficiently like I do now because, bro, I deserve to feel the joy of making videos because it was a pain in the ass to make videos on Power Director because of how fucking slow and outdated it was. I have the 2021 version, cracked version. What? Yeah, that Wednesday, that is yesterday. The 18th, that was a good day, okay? I went to the dentist, got some fillings and stuff. I didn't take any medication that day. None, bro. I did not. And yet, I was still good. The only thing that I had to do was use 0.7, and what that means is moving fast because I linked it to how fast my videos are, right? You know how like these videos are sped up to 130? Well, see, I like to watch fast content. Not super stupid, trivial content that's not really useful. No, I like fast content where the video is sped up and everything. So think of it as like, okay, with me, physically, I'm moving fast and everything. Like, that's all that stuff. That's the one thing that I've been practicing ever since, I want to say Monday and stuff, and I've done awesome with it when I wasn't on either of them. So, yeah. Wednesday, bam. Not worried about reliance, blah, blah, blah. No, helping myself. I'm not going to feel bad about, trying to help myself. So, yeah, boy. Now, we arrived to today, and it's good. I've taken the A and the Z. And the reason why I took it at the same time is because my psychiatrist recommended that I take both at the same time every day, and all that good stuff. So, yeah. And it's an awesome thing, too, because I'm just helping myself. And, yeah, when are we going to talk? The next time we're going to talk. So, yeah, guys, that was TheGrindisTimes. All that stuff, that's how it's been. So, what is one big takeaway from this? Well, one big takeaway is that you gotta stop trying too hard, right? Like, just relax, bro. Stop worrying. Also, we will come back. I will come back to talking with you guys on the, I want to say spring break because it's on that week, the 6th through the 10th. Yeah, I might come back at that time. After my prom, and I'll tell you all about it. So...